Good afternoon. My name is Anthony Baringhouse. I am doing my presentation on if somatrophin has any effect on muscle growth or strength. So to begin answering my question, I did literature review, which I was looking for any past experiments with somatrophin, also known as HGH, where it was used in experiments in regards to testing muscle strength, growth, or protein synthesis, to seeing if it helped or how it worked. So the first one that I came across was an experiment where it took a group of 21 to 34-year-old males and gave them either placebo or HGH, and then had them on strength conditioning and high intensity workouts with heavy resistance, and all of them had the same program, and they tested their growth, strength, and muscle protein synthesis levels and differences, and there was no difference between the HGH group and the placebo group. The second I found was in regard to age, where it talked about how anyone over the age of 60 has a slower muscle protein synthesis, isn't as strong, and loses a lot of recovery and strength and muscle growth ability. So they tested a group of individuals that were over 60, gave them the supplement to see if it had any effect in rejuvenating them back to where they were younger. It was inclusive, as it did not find any difference, and it did not help at all with muscle protein synthesis, muscle growth, or muscle strength. Then the third experiment I saw was where it took a group of trained athletes, gave them HGH, and saw if it improved their sports, which it also did not. So this is where I got into my hypothesis, where I found my question would be if that somatrophins do not have an effect on muscle strength, and that my confounding variable would be age will have an effect on muscle strength, as the older you are, the less you will be able to lift, while the younger you are, the more you'll be able to lift, and that somatrophin will have no effect on muscle strength. So my null hypothesis is that somatrophin or HGH will have an effect and age will not have a factor. So to conduct my experiment, I set up a quasi-random simulator in Excel, where using the islands world that we all use, I set it up so it was island, city, house, and person, and it randomed all of them to how many there were of each potentially, and I went through each to see each day for 8 days at 10 a.m. So 9 to 10 a.m. I would do this, and I would find 4 people at a time per day. I'd go through and ask them if they wanted to participate. Then in my experiment, I gave a group of 15 somatrophin and a group of 15 saline, which is a solution that just is salt and water. And I went to see, so I'd be able to see if there was a difference. Total group participants would be 30, and then after each individual received their injection, they would do a strength arm curl test for 30 seconds, where they would do curls for 30 seconds and then test how many reps they did. So and then I recorded all the data, and after the experiment, I found that the regression showed that HGH did not have an effect on muscle strength, and that age did have a big effect in muscle strength. This concludes that my hypothesis was right, and in the regression I saw that every 4 years you lost 1 rep of curl, so you lost 1 curl every 4 years. Ways I can make the experiment better: focus more on a similar age group instead of it going any age, because I went from the age I believe was from 30 to 86, so it was a big age group, so there's some outliers there. Another way would be to find other confounding variables such as gender, where you live, what you eat, if they worked out before and such. And then the biggest one was to have a larger sampling size. So, and then my references. Thank you.